Welcome to TheftMart, the official podcast about secret shoppers, loss prevention, asset protection, department store deputies, and shopping aisle sheriffs. My name is Marshall. I'm here with my co-host, Emoney, Rock, and Big Country.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. This is a beginning, my friend. This is a beginning.
First episode.
Yeah, we're all asset protection.
I'll tell you, how I got into it was, I don't know about you guys, I like a lot of action movies. You guys like action movies?
Just Rambo.
Oh, fucking great. Well,
Oh, yeah.
What's your favorite action movie, dude? Who's your favorite action actor?
Probably Arnold.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where it's at.
That's classic.
Hey, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, too.
I like MacGyver.
That's hardcore, Hey, he still did some shit, man.
And of course, I guess Sylvester Stallone.
No, man. I went through the stages. First, it was Chuck Norris because Chuck Norris was my hero.
Badass.
Went from Chuck Norris to Steven Seagal. From Steven Seagal to Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Thank you.
And then Arnold just took over the world, man. Arnold and Sylvester Stallone, and then those are just classics. But my guy was Chuck Norris, missing in action.
He's the first one to beat who was it?
Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
True story.
Mm-hmm.
That's a true story.
Because I remember my dad, I was like 8 years old when I started watching movies with my dad. And ever since then, I want to be something involved, a badass.
So you basically want to be a cop of some sort? Go in the military?
Cop, military,
Started working out day one from that
That's
time.
what really drove me to be asset protection. It's cool.
I just needed a job, man. And that's how it started, man. I started needed a job. A friend of mine knew somebody. And a friend of mine, I went in for an interview, and hey, I had to hey, what do you want to do? You know this? No, I don't know anything, but I'm willing to learn.
That's true.
I became number one in my whole market, man. So,
Which market was that?
We can't say this stuff.
One thing I'm saying, we're going into a lot of detail, aren't we?
We'll make an edit note right there.
Yeah.
No, but what about you?
I heard about it from a friend who I was
heard it from a friend who.
I needed something different and thought this sounded like fun to try out. We know.
Yeah.
B, we'll call him Mr. B.
Mr. B.
Got me on with the job. I think what I was most surprised by was what he talked about and stuff was he's like, profiling's for a reason.
Yeah, they tell you never to profile, right? They tell you never to profile, but you have to. When you're walking the floor, you profile. It's like, man, that is a piece of shit. They're going to steal. And it's the thrill. You see this, you say all the time. You say that person's going to steal, and they got to prove you wrong, man. They got to prove you wrong. I'll tell you some of the worst times is at tax time and Christmas time. Because all these people you just stereotype have money and are going to spend the money at Christmas time and tax time. These people load up their carts like this shit is going out the door. It's going. And then they go right up to the register and pay for it.
Bunch of BS, man. I still stop them. Fuck it.
Can I check your receipt, please?
I need to see your receipt, please. And they get pissed, too, because I go through every item.
I'm not going to tell you what store I work at, but it's kind of a big deal.
Big deal.
No, man. So tell me about the time, the very first stop you made, man. First stop.
Very first stop, I was kind of like on my own. Everybody had left that night. I could call my manager. I got a report. Some guy was wearing a security hat, trying to suspiciously check on TVs that were locked up. He's going around telling people he was security for a cable television company, and they needed to do market demographic testing for the television.
That is detailed, man.
That's a story, dude.
He was full of shit, of course. And
right.
So we seen him load up the television into the cart. I remember him pushing it out. I made the stop and called the deputy out. And the deputy who came picked him up. He's like, I got to see the video. It's not that I don't trust you, but I got to trust you one time. So there's all this pressure to find the video, make sure the guy's not running out, shit like that.
I mean, you had to be nervous, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I was really nervous because, you don't know what you're doing wrong or right, when you're first going through it. Trying to figure out, you don't want to make any mistakes because you don't know what the consequences of these mistakes are, or at least that is through how we went through.
That is a true statement. Mine was a 16-year-old kid. And, of course, he's a minor, but as you're watching this person steal and they're tearing up packaging, you're like, well, he's just 16. I'm not going to stop this dude. I can't. This is my first stop. Like, I'll get him next time. I don't need to make this stop. I don't need to make this stop. No, you got it. Can't quit being a fucking pussy. Make a stop.
It's your duty, right?
It's my duty. Like,
it's our
I'm
duty.
going to let my team down if I don't make this stop. Let him go. No, let him go. No, I had this internal. Let him go. I'm so nervous. I start sweating. Like, I got to do it. And I just did it. And once I made that stop by myself, all by myself, I don't know if everybody did their own stops by themselves, but I got thrown to the wolves. My first night by myself. Did it. Now, I could do it with a group. We all did it as a group. We made stops as a group. But when I was by myself, the first stop was a 16-year-old. So,
yeah.
And then I think I made a pact. I don't know. I'm never going to stop another minor ever again. And most of them have never never been minors. I've never pursued minors. So
yeah, it's kind of crazy. My first stop was a minor also. I mean, I remember I was kind of sending that call to my boss and said, hey, I think I got one here. I know I'm not really signed off yet, but you want me to go ahead and do it? Of course, boss said, go for it. I got you. So how it started was the guy was in the health beauty. So it's your shavers. You know, you got shavers, deodorant, health and beauty products.
It's just beauty products.
Tampons.
So he was opening up tampons.
Tampons and everything you got. Now, what he was doing was getting a razor. So I come along and grab deodorant and act like I'm stealing it. Yeah, it might be entrapment. Who knows? Who cares?
You pretend
so then I follow him over to the toy section. I got the deodorant. I start putting the deodorant in my pocket. And we kind of make eye contact. I said, what's up, man? Put the deodorant in my pocket.
Did you have like a special moment when you met eyes and he saw you put the deodorant in? Was it like,
hey dude, we're doing this shit together.
What's up, bro? You stealing too?
What's up? Let's get out of here.
I felt a little connection there. I ain't gonna lie. You know? I mean, he thought he was good. I was like, you ain't good. You fuck. But you know, it's good. So he's like, you know, he's still in shaver. I'm still in deodorant. You know, it was connection. It was great. So he does it, of course. I'm behind him, and we both start going. So I get in front of him. I start going around, act like, oh, I forgot something. So I turn around, and he finally goes through the first vestibule. I made the stop on him. I mean, he's pissed. Like I said, we had the connection. You know, he thought he loved me. I don't know. I might love him too.
He loved me.
But we made that connection, and after that, you know, he was a good kid. He's a young 17-year-old. I'll bring him back. One thing with minors, do that paperwork sucks. But he was a nice guy. He cooperated. That was it. Mine was a minor too.
He was a nice guy, so you have a good relationship with everybody you stop?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. You know, it depends. You know, sometimes we might go get a beer after. Sometimes we might go get chicken.
You never know. It depends on the mood.
Depends on the mood.
All right, so are we going with the first stop, successful stop, or the first stop?
You telling me you made a bad stop?
So wait, you made a bad stop? We don't make bad stops.
Hey, this team never made bad stops.
I never said it was a bad stop. I just said unsuccessful.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, just your first
stop.
My first stop, young kid, minor.
Why we all have minors?
Well, I mean, I wasn't signed off. It didn't get counted as mine, but I was with him. And
him.
I could name the kid out loud on the air.
Hold on, you think that's kind of like since we all have minors? You think it's because we were kind of like sizing people up? Like, hey, I don't know if we're ready for adult yet.
I could get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're ready for adult yet, but
for the record, I did not have a minor. He's crazy. He's an old guy. He's weird.
So we can officially say you're not a pedophile.
That's right. I'm like the three gentlemen who are here with me.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
you're with me.
Big minor. Well, I had a minor, like I said, but go ahead. Go back.
The kid had some earphones, and I don't remember exactly what some headphones, maybe some cards, something like that. We go back. We observe him. You know, fucking, you can hear this shit opening up, and so we follow him out. He doesn't have it on, you know.
What does it sound like when he's opening up, though?
Just packaging, you know, plastic getting ripped open.
Okay.
You know,
did you just say he didn't have it on him?
No, he did. He concealed it.
Yeah.
And he started out through the door, and then we went and stopped. Got a little stern with him, walking him back to the back. We get back. You know, one of the things is you can't pat people down. You can't, you know, strip search them for the product.
Well, we got somebody here by the rules here.
Yeah, at least while you're on camera, you can. But you know the rule. Blind spots.
Anything goes, man.
So we get him back there, and you know, he's like, I don't have anything. We're like, dude, we know you have this. Where is it? And so we start sweating him a little bit. You know, good cop, bad cop, all this, that, and the other. Finally, he pulls out.
Wait a minute. We got to go into this. So
good cop, bad cop.
Who's the bad cop? Yeah, who's the bad cop? Who's the good cop?
I think we all know who the bad cop here was.
All right, so how'd it go?
Snorted a little bit on that.
Go into that conversation. How'd it go? Who was the bad cop? You were?
No,
you were a good cop.
The counterpart.
All right, cops, go ahead. How did it start off?
I'll interject a little. I remember I think it was a different sensation myself because
Well, you're a veteran.
I
He was still a
remember-
rookie.
I watched him run.
but it wasn't even like me being the veteran. It was like I thought it was a bad stop because he emptied his pockets, couldn't find anything, and I'm freaking out. Like I'm supposed to be training this dude, and I'm gonna get fired the first day I train him because he doesn't have shit in his pockets. And turned out he had basketball shorts
up
on,
his butthole.
but we had he was smuggling it, the old prison pocket.
Damn.
But I was sweating. But it worked.
Hey, it was
we
like
got
that. It
him.
was
So
like
did you
$80
scream at
worth.
him and then listen, guy? I add the room and then you come in like, hey man, I know you're a little
I believe he
fragile,
did
a little
leave the
upset.
room. We talked to, I talked to him for a little bit. Can't even tell you what I mean. This is 5 years ago at least. I don't remember exactly what I said to him.
There's certain times.
So, but yeah, he had a set of basketball shorts on underneath and pulled out
Sounds
the
like you can remember
headphone.
pretty good to me. What
Pulled
color
out
were
the
the basketball shorts?
Red, maybe.
What about his underwear? Huh?
Crazy thing was, took him off without his hands at all. He just noticed.
Listen, I'm pretty skilled when
I ain't gonna
need to
lie,
be.
we had a lot of complaints with you, man. Little boy complaints.
This is getting raw.
I don't remember a lot of it. I just remember being terrified that I was going to lose my job trying to train this guy. But luckily we sweated him and it worked. And
So I'm going to segue. How many times did you play the bad cop, dude?
I don't even know what I probably blacked out and just yelled at the kid. I was pissed that I was about to lose my job. Some what?
Some obscenities were said, possibly about the kid's mother. We're not really sure to this day.
Your mother's a whore. Now where's the car?
You guys recall his mother a whore? That's awesome.
I do not.
I always want to call
Prove
her
it. Get a warrant.
I mean, I still have pages of people that I stop too. Sometimes you get in, they still come. It's like taking that money out of your own pockets.
I've never really personally had a vendetta for anybody ever that I've ever stopped. Maybe the people that I got into like a personal altercation. The one stops that you're out there in the parking lot, and, the bad parking lot you're not supposed to talk about.
Yeah.
After that, man, once they leave, I don't care. Now, whenever you go to all the carnivals in the town, then you're worried about if you're gonna are these people gonna mess you up, or what are they gonna do? And so I've had them while you're at and you're getting on rides. Hey, I know you from somewhere. I don't know where I know you from. I don't know. Are you from? Yeah, McDonald's. Maybe that's where I see you all the time. I'll never admit that.
It's crazy how you forget the people you stop. You fucking go out there and it's like they look at you and they know you, but you don't remember them.
Well, you're walking the floor. It's like, did we stop that person? Did we stop? Do you?
Yeah,
That's
like,
that.
they look fucking familiar.
I know I've been out and we get a thing where a guy comes up to us and he's like, "Hey, I know you, man." And we're like, "Oh, did we stop this guy or not?" And it turned out it's somebody who we worked with. It was one of the cashiers.
Yeah,
at the place we
I
work.
mean, it happens all the time. I mean, I know I'm famous as fuck and people like me. And they like all of us. We're popular guys, but it gets kind of old sometimes.
Yeah. It's kind of dying. It's a rare breed. It's a rare breed, and whenever you got all this, it's kind of crazy.
All right. So we'll switch gears here. Second stop.
Yeah, second stop.
All right. Walking around, still not signed off yet. See this lady. He has encountered her previously, watched her on video, showed some DVDs, Blu-ray DVDs down her bag, and he knew that she.
You got to
she'd
describe her
been-
though. I mean, she was. Dirty
I mean, she's a crackhead. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
blonde hair, dyke.
missing teeth, all kinds of stuff.
Missing teeth. She had nice boobs, but I mean,
Yeah, well, that's because you only weighed like 90 pounds. So, but anyway, we go up to stop her. One of the things is you can't touch them. So, where I messed up is as soon as we went to stop her, she starts freaking out. I, just out of reaction, grasped a hold of her
Ass.
arm and then realized what I've done. So I let go. And
Yeah, she grabbed her ass, Bubba.
whatever.
She'll be grabbing her ass.
But so then she proceeds to walk out the door, and
Steve,
karma,
grab her ass.
as they say, is bitch. And this elderly woman is walking in at the same time, sees this series of
You wish
events,
you would have grabbed her ass.
and no, I'm all
sick,
right.
man. You're just totally sick.
Been there.
Inappropriateness here.
So, go ahead.
But elderly woman sees a series of events and proceeds to. I don't know if throw, because that'd be kind of a 70-year-old lady just picking up a cart and throwing it.
She was a strong bitch, though.
But she shoves the
7-year-old.
cart in the direction of the other woman and clips her in the leg, and she starts freaking out, thinking that we have hit her with a shopping cart to stop her from stealing, when in fact we did not, and are now just continuing to laugh hysterically at this series of events. And she, her other half, who was out in the parking lot, saw this and speeds away and leaves her in the parking lot to walk home or wherever she went from
That's
that
good
point.
times.
I think she was going with Five Guys. Well, Five Guys wasn't there yet.
No, I don't think he's even opened up yet.
What was down there? They always went and hid.
Ryan's.
Ryan's.
You know, it was a good buffet. It really was. I mean, I liked it.
Very rare. I enjoyed the ice cream. That's the best thing I think about the ice cream. But I could tell you.
Damn
Elderly-
good ice cream. Damn good ice cream.
It's damn good ice cream.
You get the sprinkles, you get gummy bear,
So-
Oreo. You put anything you want on that fucking ice cream. Yeah, I don't even know how that place went on business. But
Tell me what you missed. Segue into what you missed. buddy.
Goddamn prime rib from Ryan's. Now, I'll tell you what. You should go up for the ice cream.
All right. So speaking
You
of
might stay for the
speaking of
that prime
Ryan's,
rib is good, though.
no, seriously. Speaking of Ryan's, so this dude walks into the front doors wearing a black trench coat. We just got done making a stop. This guy walks in, trench coat. So we first see him as soon as he walks in the door. We get on him. So this guy, we say this guy's going to steal. Hair down to his butt, long black trench coat. Walks straight back to electronics. This guy's going to steal something. So he goes and gets air dust, right? So he grabs air dust. Okay, this shit's going. This is going. No. He
Did
goes
he inhale
right.
it?
No, he went. Well, we'll get there. He went straight to the line, paid for it, goes straight to the bathroom.
Stuck up his
This,
butt.
no, this guy goes in. This guy goes into the bathroom and starts huffing this air dust. So we automatically call the cops. So we're protecting the door. Nobody can come in and out of the bathroom. And this guy's in there huffing air dust, and he acts like he's speaking into. So in walks state trooper. We tell him this guy's in the back huffing air dust. State trooper walks in, boom, kicks in the bathroom stall he's in. What the fuck are you doing? I'm sick, getting ready to go to work. And here inside the toilet is 4 cans of air dust. He's already huffed. He threw up all over the floor.
Fuck.
Come to find out, this guy was a cook at Ryan's on your prime rib. A cook. I never ate there ever again. Fuck that ice cream.
I don't know, man. I would have ate there still. I mean, Ryan's, I don't know. You know, I loved Ryan's. I really did.
Whoa.
I think you've fallen off a little bit and you're kind of child.
Oh, man.
I think, yeah, it's tough to go anywhere, work in this profession. Just
And not seeing people you caught.
yeah, and then being afraid of, he's got dirtbag friends back there making food for him too, and
Not good.
I think one thing we should clear up, because we haven't talked about, is that within our job, there are definitely parameters and rules that we're supposed to stick within. Now, that's not to say, people bend rules, break rules, but it's important to know, there's definitely 3 components to getting a good stop.
Actually, they've changed it, my friend.
Okay.
They've made it to where now you have to have 5.
Wow.
5. You can't make a stop without having 5 certain things. And if you don't have one of the 5, you can't make any stops. But like you said, there's some rules to be broke, because there's not all the time you're going to be able to catch somebody having all 5. You're walking the floor. Right. You're walking the floor, and somebody's opening up a package. I don't care if I saw them select it. They're opening up a package. I know they didn't come in with that package, opening that package. I'm going to stop them. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't
You got to at least have the 2 out of the 5.
2 out of the 5.
Can we go over the 5 rules without giving away proprietary information?
Every place is different. So pretty much
would we
every
say
place.
these 5
I've worked at multiple retailers.
have been adapted by most retailers?
Most retailers said, it's pretty much the same. You got to have the suspicious activity. You have to have them select an item. You have to have them go to someplace and conceal that item, and then they have to walk out without paying for it. Yeah, so you have to have a reason why you're watching this person. You just can't say, "Oh, this guy." Once again, we're talking about stereotypes. We say we don't stereotype, but you do. That's the whole purpose of them saying you don't stereotype, to have those elements. This is the reason why, and it's only to cover your ass if you go to court. Well, I picked him because he was a black man, or I picked him because he was an Indian. I picked him. No, this is the reation why.
I picked him because he's a white man.
We're diverse here, man.
Said it though, that one.
Crime is diverse, dude. It doesn't matter what color you are. But you still have those moments where you are going to stereotype and say this person is going to do this until they prove you wrong.
Do you feel like the 5 rules that we're discussing are implemented to protect you, or do you think it's implemented to basically cover the retailer's
ass? It's the retailer, because the retailer don't care about you. They care about themselves.
Do you think kind of
because the laws of
underneath
Indiana,
it all, they know these rules are being bent and broken every day?
They know without a shadow of a doubt. And that's the thing that we talk about all the time, is in this business, is that those are, as long as don't ask, don't tell, the kind of thing they have in the military. It's the same thing when it comes to this. They know these people that are getting 500 stops a year, they're not following all that 5 rules, because there ain't no way you're getting 500 stops by following all them rules, because there's going to be a lot of people walk out your doors. There's going to be a lot higher theft. Mm-hmm. But because the retailer don't care about you, just there to cover their butt. So
yeah, just safe parameters. They want you to make stops, but then they don't want you to make stops. So you got to make the stops.
Have you ever personally been in a situation where you felt like these rules were maybe used at the bias of the company or the retailer, like where you felt like maybe these rules weren't in your best interest, but they were?
Well, I can tell you probably firsthand. I don't know, but I've seen it firsthand with people that I've worked with. Now, I've worked my job. People come and go in our business. You guys are aware of that. I've worked with officers of the law, where sometimes when they decide themselves they're going to enforce their right as an officer, instead of being that for the retailer, they said, I'm an officer of the law and I'm going to arrest this person. Well, the retailer don't care that you're an officer of the law because you didn't follow these steps that the retailer asked you. And those officers and members of the law enforcement have gone by the wayside, just doing their own job as a duty for law enforcement. So those retailers, I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, I agree with everything he says there. I mean, we all both know officers that have lost their jobs for being secret shoppers, and they actually did what they could do as being regular law enforcement.
And as soon as they identify themselves as an officer, I mean, it's their civic duty. If you're an officer and you see a crime committed, it's their job it's their duty to do that. And all these retailers don't care. I just gave that away. I mean, hopefully we don't do nothing with this, but they don't care about you being an officer and your civic duty as an officer and your oath as a member of the community. So
the interesting thing to me is, hypothetically, anybody can do what we're doing.
No, you can. No.
Because I was always told basically we were performing citizen's arrest.
Well,
and we don't condone anybody.
I thought you were saying
doing that.
Anyone could be a secret shopper.
I think it's a certain cut of people, but I think from the actual.
Anybody can make a citizen's arrest. It doesn't matter. Like they just recently arrested Stephen Bonner drinking and driving. They held him there until an officer came, and they all made a citizen's arrest. So anybody can make a citizen's arrest. You are correct.
It's interesting. I think that anybody can do that, but.
Well, I can tell you, like, say our local law enforcement would prefer us to cite people and give them tickets to show up to court. If we had the opportunity, they'd give us ticket books and we'd write tickets. But the retailer don't want nothing to do with it because they feel like it's going to cause scrutiny and go to court over stuff like this. So they don't want to get sued. So, but if the local law enforcement, to save their time from coming out to these places, they would rather give us the ticket book, cite, and release them and tell them to have appear in court on this such date. What are you thinking?
Do you think that's more beneficial to the retailer to have it that way?
I don't know if it's beneficial to the community and to our officers that are out there trying to serve and protect, and if we got them coming every 20 minutes to a retailer, then we're wasting our money to them coming out here every 20 minutes. So,
that's a good point.
But the retailer don't care. Like I had a conversation, and every retailer is different. You go throughout. I've worked at multiples where there's a dollar amount where the officers come out. Well, you talk to the retailer that I work at now, they don't like. We need to take the dollar amount for an officer to come out to the store to be a higher rate, but they don't care. They still want it to be at a certain. I'll be honest with you, they want it to be $25. So anytime that somebody steals $25, an officer needs to come to the store. I don't think it needs to be $25. I think it needs to be $100 or more, because why are we wasting it? To me, it's I can get somebody in there for $25. Okay, sign this, leave. There's no reason for me to bring a cop and wait 2-3 hours for a cop sometimes, depending on the shift change, just for $25. That's a waste of my time, waste of the officer's time, it's a waste of the retailer's time. I could do so many other things.
Yeah. Maybe we could talk about a little bit about what loss prevention means to us individually. Why we think, what are the pros and cons of it? Why is it a necessity in 2018?
I don't know. I could say personally, on my personal point is there's a give and take. I'm not the retailer. I'm not the guy that's making the big bucks. Now, if I had my own business, I definitely would want. I see the need to have a face inside my business that says, "Hey, we're protecting the assets of this company." But I'm telling you, as loss prevention as a whole, technically, let's say I'm in a big retailer, and me, I've been high, I've been low in this company and other companies, and so on the outside, you actually have to show the community that there is some kind of force inside your store that is protecting its assets. Now, I could tell you from a business standpoint, when I was higher up, that the exterior theft has nothing to do with what the interior theft. There's more interior theft than there is exterior theft. But you still have to have that, to me, you have to have that inside the store. So what it means to me is just showing the face in the community. You just can't walk into any place to have whatever you want and your hands on anything. So whenever we're here to show you can't just have anything inside the store.
I think a good addition to that, too, is a lot of people think all we do is stopping theft and controlling assets. But there's a kind of a good point that you were bringing up there with the interior, exterior of that. We're also in charge of the safety aspect of a lot of these retailers.
We are the face of safety inside that store. I don't think that if we wasn't, that's the one thing, you're walking around these retailers and you're seeing all kinds of unsafe work practices all the time. And I don't think if we was here on an individual basis that anybody would say, hey, so-and-so is unworking safe. They was climbing up in a steel, or they was walking on pallets. They was riding a forklift around in circles. Because if we wasn't out walking and rotating the different parts of the store, we wouldn't see it. We see more than what our managers do and what other people do, because we are the face of the store. And if we wasn't a part of here, then the safety culture wouldn't even really be there. So we're a big proponents of safety. And if we wasn't there to push it, then there really wouldn't be anybody to do that, because a lot of these managers think that their time and efforts is not worth it. They got so many times stocking shelves and dealing with customers that they don't even focus on that. So, yeah, you are correct.
I think it's interesting, too, how unaware from going from shopper to a secret shopper and learning kind of the trade, how unaware the general public is from the amount of theft that happens. I feel like for me, it was something that once you learn that, it's almost like a switch that comes on. And now anytime you go shopping, anywhere you see something, you pick up on what am I looking for here for secret shopping? Who's stealing here? This packaging that's left over, that was theft that happened earlier.
Right.
Things like that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you recall, guys, when you first started, especially when you first started, you start seeing it everywhere. You saw theft everywhere because it was so fresh, and you was new. You didn't know what theft was, what it was. So when you started going into other retail businesses that you just visited on a regular basis, you never even saw it before, and now it's so fresh. That person's stealing. I would go up, I'd be in another store and say, hey, this person's stealing. They're stealing. How do you know? They just put it in their pocket. No matter where I'd go, I'd tell somebody, I need to talk to a manager.
But part of that could be also attributed to the amount of time that you spend in that particular store. As far as the one that, we all once were or currently, you're spending at least 8 hours a day in that floor or in that store walking around the floor. If you go into, let's say, Pennies or Lowe's, Menards, a lot of times you're only spending 20, 25, 30 minutes maybe max in there. That's a very, very short length of time to actually
I agree and disagree
if you're not if you haven't been trained or don't know what to look for, things like that.
100%.
Being in there for 20, 30 minutes, I still can pull people out.
100%. So that's what I'm saying. So the things that you've been taught, things that you've never known before, like you said, coming in from a consumer to an actual part of the retail part. Now, even the short period of time that I was, okay, this is the things you look for. These are the things, like my mentor said, this is what you look for. This is what this person does. This is what this person does. And that whole stereotype, I can walk into a store and I'll stereotype as soon as I walk in that store.
Yep. It's programming.
It is. It's in you. It's embedded. And it won't ever go away.
This might just be with me.
Yeah. It's in the DNA.
It's weird with me. I feel like I got some intuition too. Like it's weird. I get a feeling sometimes. I look at someone just by looking at it, I think they're going to steal. Most of the time, they do steal.
It is. It's like it becomes a second nature to you.
And that's why you're either going to make it or you're not going to make it at this position.
And I'll tell you something else too. And the more you do it, sometimes you just run right into shit,
that's
man.
Right.
You can have one of these days where you're walking, I got nothing. I've been working for 7 hours, and 30 minutes, I'm getting ready to go clock out, and then boom, there it is, just falls in your lap.
Yeah.
Sometimes you befriend another criminal, and you put deodorant in your pocket, and they're your buddies, and you get them that way.
Man, I'm telling you, one of the best times.
You're not supposed to entrap, but I did it multiple times. It's real good to do.
The funniest shit ever when you talk about interaction. I've told this story to you guys 1,000 times, but people who listen never heard it before. Walking the sales floor, it's summertime. This dude's walking the floor. He has an L cart, right? One of these carts that are always in the back of the store, right? Back of the store. It's like, this guy's up to something. There ain't no way. Plus, he looks shady as fuck. So this guy goes right to our pools. And I'm like, this shit's going. So he's having a hard time putting on this cart. I go, sir.
Well, how big was the pool?
The pool was a 4-foot pool.
Damn, you think you could go bigger?
Well, we only sold that. That's the biggest we sell.
How much do those weigh? Those are heavy.
Oh, man.
They're being extremely heavy. It's a 2-person lift.
Yeah, it's a 2-person lift. So I personally said, here, man, let me help you, dude. Let me load this up for you. He goes, you work here? Nah, I don't work here. Let me just want to help you, man.
Entrapment.
And so, man, I load this thing up, and I walk away, and I go off to the side and walk over to toys. This guy starts making the beeline towards the door, walks out. And I stop him and say, hey, man, my name's such and such. I need to talk to you about that. Hey, man, you just help me load down. You're a customer. I was like, nah, man, I work here, dude.
Sucker.
What's funny, the funniest of the whole thing, he just got out of jail, had a paper ID because they took his ID. He had a paper ID, so we used that. And it was his kid's birthday. He was buying his kid a birthday present. I was like,
man.
So what is this secret shopper? What is it to you? What does the job entail, and what's it mean?
Well, I don't know. It really comes down to 3 things: shrink, security, and safety. You already touched on shrink being external.
you're being professional here, buddy.
External and internal.
Shrink's that thing you get when you jump out the pool, right?
Yeah.
You don't want your girl to see you.
Well, I get shrink a lot too that way too.
Helicopter.
But
Yeah, good shit.
no,
You're a pervert, man.
Go ahead and explain shrink.
You
disgusting pig.
We're on this subject here, man. I feel like you walk the floor and you fuck these girls in your mind. I mean,
well, I don't do as much as I used to, but yeah, when I get the chance, you better believe it.
reason why you used to bring a gym bag and change your clothes all the time. You used to say you're going to the gym after this, man. You change.
So you want to get out of this, huh?
So shrink and safety. Yeah. I've never even allowed that to even happen. But
shrink and safety.
All right, let's
get back on the tracks here.
So coming from just being a floor walker, secret shopper, shrink is external theft, and then you go into security, which is your MPP. It's a merchandise protection plan. That's putting spider wraps on, liquor caps, and making sure everything's locked up in lockup cases that are over certain dollar amounts, and getting that all secured away from the bastards trying to take it from you. Yes, they're bastards. And then you got safety you went into. But I don't know, man. Like I said from the beginning, I grew up watching action movies, so I always liked the action stuff. I always liked to do something that would make me feel brave. So, it was either like going to be a police officer or going to be in something action, like something cool, I guess. And Secret Shopper was cool. I mean, think about it. You dress up in normal clothes, you act like you're a fake customer, and you stop bad guys, right? That's what we're doing. We're stopping criminals, bad guys. So, I mean, that's what I came to me. And I also like, in the sense that you also get to help out the store, make a lot of stops. I don't know. It was just something that I always liked doing. I was always good at it. It was fun. It was when I was working. It was. So
did you always dream to be about being a cop or going to the military?
No, I mean, I don't know about that, but I mean, it would be something to do, but it was just something to just be like that brave aspect, I don't know, like a hero type thing. I always want to be a hero, right? I mean, that's what all action movies are. Think about their heroes, but I don't know. I liked it. I mean, I liked the feeling of making stops, and it was fun. I like getting the adrenaline rush. I mean, there's always a adrenaline rush. Everyone knows that. I'm sure you guys know that. When you make stops, you get that little adrenaline that comes up. And it doesn't matter if it's an old lady, 80 years old, or fucking...
They're pissing themselves when you make them to stop. Put them in the bag and they're pissed in the seat. Yeah.
Or it's, a big thug, you know what I mean? Black, Mexican, white, whatever you guys... But, I mean, I don't know. I've always liked it for that reasons.
I think that's a great point, too, is I think people would be surprised that even though we talk a lot about profiling and how it is a necessity in the field, people would be amazed at how anybody steals. We've stopped little grandmas to, somebody who looks like a convict to just minors, and I felt like every time you assume something about somebody, I was still surprised by the way they reacted. I remember making a stop and this guy had head to toe tattoos, big looking dude, looked like he lifted weights. And I remember him being like, "You got my back if he throws a punch, right?" And I was terrified. This was one of my first stops. And I was like, sure. Yeah, we can do that. And we get up to him, pull him around, do our whole spiel. Hey, we're with Secret Shoppers Incorporated, and trying to making the stop. The guy turned around and started bawling. Didn't punch, just started crying right away.
That's a true statement. And the thing, if you do some things that you could do statistics and the ethnicity of the different people that do steal and what they steal. And you'd be surprised. There is no color. There is no people steal just to steal, man. And I have found that there's no rhyme or reason to it. I've always tried to figure it out. I know I stopped you from talking about what it meant to you, but
no, I was done.
In the years that I've done this, I've always said, why do people do this? And there is no answer. There is no reason. They just do it.
I always thought they want to pay for it, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. They want it for free.
And I will tell you, and I found that the majority of people that come in here don't necessarily come in to steal. They just do it. It just happens. It's spur of the moment.
Sometimes it's a crime of opportunity. Like if they don't think anybody's watching them, they'll go ahead and do it. But say what you want about it. Yeah, yes, the majority of these people, some of them do have lengthy backgrounds, criminal history, but some of them are your minor that just made a mistake. You got to live, you got to learn. But regardless of what their actions are, the only thing you control, in my opinion, is your actions. So whether or not these people are, could just be out on parole or whatever, have done whatever. Still, if you show them, if you have respect, if, you still talk to them with respect and things like that, usually it goes over a lot smoother, than.
There is a time and place to be an asshole, and there's a time and place that's because they're going through something in their life. You are correct.
A lot of times it goes smoother and it can work itself out. But, if you at least hold yourself and have respect, and you at least try to talk to them as they still are a person with respect,
Well, we're trained to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah, that's what they try to teach you right from the beginning is de-escalation. Yeah, you are correct.
Yeah. So I don't know, like I say, even though these people
de-escalate the situation. Yeah. Okay.
Just respect goes a long way. If a lot of times you show them respect, even though they made a mistake, or they could be their thing. They could be a career criminal. Maybe they are a meth or a heroin addict, and you're just looking to get something, run it down to the pawn shop and get a couple bucks so they can go get a hit.
This might sound kind of stupid or dumb, but I'm thankful for shoplifters. It's job security. I want them to steal because that gives me a purpose.
I agree.
If they don't steal, then we don't have a job.
I agree with you, but I think there's going to become a time and place that these super retailers are going to say, we don't need you.
Oh yeah, it's already happening.
And to me, that's a bad thing because you go back to a kid that we stopped, a minor. Hopefully, okay, yeah, he did try. It was like $80. He was trying to steal headphones and some other stuff. Add up to $80. But hopefully, that is the worst thing that he doesn't. Maybe us by stopping him has
changed the course of his life.
Right, and he's like, oh man, I don't want to do this.
Well, he's in prison right now. Look at that 20
or maybe that was a snowball effect. Maybe he's like, screw it. Another point: some of these people that have been stopped for shoplifting, they aren't just your cook or whatever.
Why are you feeling sorry for these people, man?
I'm not feeling sorry for it, but I can. Because one dude I stopped, he was like an hour away from his daughter's wedding. And he almost had a stroke back there. He is on
Let me ask you guys a question. I'm going to ask all you a question. I agree 100%. How much of these are stories they're told to us? Are these guys career criminals, career liars, pathological liars that are so good that they believe their own lies that they tell us, hey, my daughter's wedding. I've heard that. I'm going to a wedding. I'm doing this. I'm doing it. My mother's in the hospital.
Feel sorry story, so you feel sorry for him.
That dude, I believe, another, I don't know if his wife or whoever was calling him, like, where are you at? Like, you could hear it over the phone. So, to that guy, I don't think
the dude almost had a fucking, seizure on us?
He was on heart pills. He was freaking out.
I didn't give a fuck.
There. And another thing, you're never too old to learn. So maybe that dude, 60 years old, whatever he was, maybe he learned to,
I disagree with you. You are too old to learn.
You're never too old to learn.
I disagree. You are set. I believe personally, this is where we're going to agree to disagree. I believe we are set in our ways, and it's going to be it's going to take something major to happen in your life. And I've seen it personally when people have major things happen in their life, and they still go down the wrong road. They still go to prison. They still doing the drugs. Mm-hmm. They're still drinking. I'm telling you, we are. Once we hit 5 years old, you are who you are, my friend.
I don't believe that for a second, but
I don't know 100% on that, but I definitely think that's
a psychology book.
It's a perspective. I will say one thing that I heard from a deputy from working this is that, and something that I like to think when I was working and stuff, I don't want to assume the worst of people. I don't want to live in a world like that, but most of these people are good-hearted people. You're just seeing them at the worst time in their life, and I do think, like, kind of what was saying is that. The nice thing about this job is sometimes...
You say my Christian name on this radio station again.
Whose address is...
Big country. Big country.
I think that, the nice thing about this job is, there's a lot that could be, basically viewed as bizarre or inappropriate and stuff. One of the nice things is that, like what I'm saying, is sometimes we can be the force of interference to get them on a different path. Now, we're not providing that type of help in any way, but I think there is a certain aspect of providing help through what we do.
As you guys say this, how often do you feel that it's your obligation? After you guys say this, how many times have you felt like you need to have an intervention with that person you've stopped? How many times do you think in your career? How many people do you think you've stopped? About 200, 300 people?
I wouldn't say that much.
I'd say maybe like 10.
Nah, probably like 70.
Okay, so out of 70 people, but you've been on lots of stops amongst all of us in this room. You've been on several hundred. So with that being said, do you feel like that you've found yourself where you felt like, hey, I got to change this person's life. They're going through some crazy shit. Maybe I could say something that could intervene.
Well,
how many times do you feel out of 70 stops? How many times do you think you've had your personal opinion about their life?
To go over somebody's life and their, past experiences and maybe an hour that you have them in the back, you can't go too in depth with it. But, there's possibly two, that young kid, and then there were some other juveniles that got stopped that, possibly, hopefully that this, because it isn't just what the repercussions of whatever that retailer is or the legal ramifications of it. So far as some of these juveniles, you also have their parents, which can be a very powerful tool. If they're not necessarily a bad kid, if they haven't, and I'm not just saying because of split home or things like that will make you a bad kid or you've had prior, right. But some of these, the parents like, oh, I never thought my kid would do this. I got a, so it might help with the parenting aspect of it too. Those parents, what if that kid has to do chores for next month? As a kid, I hated chores. I know everybody did. So if you got to do that too.
I love chores. No, but I'm saying, we're talking about what this means to us. LP, what it means to us, right? So you said you got a hero, you got somebody that talks about changing somebody's life. You said how it impacts different things. So do you feel as though, as Mr. being a hero, that are you changing people? Do you feel like this a calling to change people's lives?
I'm gonna characterize myself or categorize myself as being a hero. I just have a job to do, and I try and do it.
He said he felt like he wanted to be a hero, but do you feel like you're changing people's lives?
I don't know. Either I'm changing their life for the better, or either I'm going to get them so pissed off at that store that they're going to be like, fuck it, I'm coming back and taking them for even more than what I was going to. Or maybe, that kid, he's like, screw it, now I'm going to get an ROTC, I'm going to go and join the military, and, maybe he's fighting for your freedom right now. You don't know that. So,
I think it's tough to determine. Not everybody has the same situation of what brought them to that moment. I don't think I got into it to, I don't think any of us really got into it to change anybody's life.
We got there to stop criminals is what we got in there.
I don't think it's going to change their life for the positive at the time being, but I think that it's your individual responsibility basically to decide how you deal with a moment. I think, we definitely got into it. Regardless of why we got into it or not, it will provide. We are a force of change in their life. I mean, that's kind of a big moment.
You brought up a good point. Like they're forced. That's a key thing. Just I don't know. I chimed in on that, but that's key. They was forced into your life for that situation that's going on in their life. So do you believe in maybe a higher cause with that, or do you think that it would have happened anyway? Because things break down to like, I would just so happen to be standing in this aisle, and this guy just so happened to grab this out of that aisle. I would just so happen to make my walk this way. So do you feel that maybe life meant for you to change this person's life?
I don't personally feel that way myself, because I feel that I'm making the best of what I can do, and hopefully eventually they will too. But I think that regardless, they're still affected by how I've changed their life. Plus, it's like you're saying, how many people continually steal? As soon as they get out of jail, as soon as they pay that ticket, they're going right back to steal again, just because of who they are. I think everybody's situation is a little different. I think we could all speak to the idea that we've met people that are just career criminals that are going to be low lives for the rest of their life. And then we've probably met people that we felt that way about and have since changed. And then we've met people who we were the force of change, regardless of, how their trajectory in life was. They decided to own that responsibility of being caught for theft. But I personally, I don't feel like it's a higher power or anything that I'm serving a purpose by doing this. I think there are, I'm not going to get into it and say I did this for heroic reasons and I'm here to save everybody and stuff like that. But I really think it's a.
So it's just so happened at this point in time, this guy walks up, takes a big screen TV and puts it in his car. There's no. Oh my God, this is a divine moment in time, and then you just so happen to catch this guy, and this guy cooperated with you, and you walk him to the back, and it just so happens he's going through some rough shit in his life, and then it just so happens that man, I got something to tell you, dude. I just feel, what's the difference? You make a stop, one guy, we're going to write the paper and get you out of here and move on to the next one, and this guy that's just stole the TV is going through a rough time in his life, and now I just give him a whole life spill? It wasn't meant to be?
I don't know. I can't say, because it's like, well, what is the alternative to it not meaning to be? You know what I mean? That's a hard thing to think about. Like, what if it is? What if it isn't? Basically, the value is worth the same there. To where, so yes, it's possible, but it's also possible that it's not meant to be. I think that gentleman, from what I've heard, he's still basically a piece of trash.
Yeah, the majority of them, over 90%.
Most of them are.
Will stay and will continue to be trash. So. My thing is do you find those moments? Do you feel like you guys want to take those moments to say, hey man, this is the time that you need to really look at your life? And do you feel like you feel obligated to do that?
Oh, absolutely. I've felt that way before. I find myself getting on a soapbox with some of the people we've stopped and be like, hey, now's a good time to turn your life around however you want,
Right.
But I try to avoid that in a way, because so many people will try to, I think in this industry especially, people will lie to your face. They'll tell you
on a constant basis.
So
man.
you can, and people don't realize how much they slip emotionally with people like this, because there are people out there who are career criminals who have basically created an art form of manipulation where they're going to lie to your face. Like, oh yeah, man, I'm going to change my life after this. I was just doing this for my kid and it won't ever happen again. I'm going to go meet up with my grandma after this. And really they're just, they're going to go commit another crime. They're going to hurt somebody else. Yep.
Good.
I mean, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard not to let your emotions take over sometimes on that. I mean, it's being feeling the hero, but I think also you're in the point of authority, and that's also another thing too. I mean, you're over these people when you got them back there. I mean, you're the one taking them back, and they're listening to you. So it's the same way as being a law enforcement officer. You got authority, right? But I don't know. Like, to me, it goes back to intuition sometimes too, or just feeling like something comes over and it's something you want to do to help out the person. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. There's certain people I see that I'm just like, all right, I'm going to give them a chance. I'm cutting them a break. And what's the difference of me cutting them and breaking someone else? I don't know. It's just maybe I do feel like they have a better chance than the other person making it. So I do cut them a break.
Now, here's another point. I know that there's probably some of these people that have been stopped still haven't went through the justice system, so they aren't guilty of it yet. They're just accused. But how many?
The lawyer now.
But
shit.
but now how many?
Threw his Christian name out again.
Yeah,
Big country.
Now, how many of these people do you have multiple stops on, like that are reoccurring?
I agree.
People
That's a good.
in your store that
Keep going.
you have stopped one time. It was over the X amount of dollars that needed to be to trespass them. You trespass them, and then 2 weeks again, you're stopping them again for trying to steal again, and because
That's recently happened.
System, and you see who has been in there, or just nationwide. I believe the system is, who has been stopped before.
Right.
How many. I've been out of it for a couple of years, so I don't know. I'm assuming that number keeps growing. Due to the population, and people that keep stealing. So I would assume that number.
I agree 100% with you. I agree. That was a good call out there. But my thing to you is the system broke? So let's say we caught these people 5 times, and it's over the felony amount, and they just keep walking back in. To me, when's enough is enough in this community, and let's put this person in prison. Do you think
I agree.
I think that once you've done it so many times, you become an habitual offender. These dudes need to. We've been failed as a retailer. I feel like I've been failed and shit in my face because this is the 5th time I've caught this guy. This guy has not learned. This woman has not learned not to come back in here. That's a shame on the justice system.
And what do? They raise it to a higher dollar amount for a felony.
Well, as far as for conversion, you get convicted of misdemeanor conversion once, or they just have misdemeanor theft now. Your second offense, it's a felony. So I don't know if you're aware of that they can.
I heard about that change.
I heard that, but
I don't know how much that affects you guys because, like you said, if the dollar amount isn't over X amount of dollars, the company doesn't want you to prosecute them.
So you got to remember, in this state, anything that's underneath $750 is a misdemeanor.
Correct.
And it's Class A misdemeanor, and Class A misdemeanors can all get thrown out into community service. So these career criminals go and they know this, they can do whatever they want to do, and just throw us under the bus and keep coming in.
But what I'm saying is, once you have one conviction of misdemeanor theft, the next alleged offense that
within 3 years.
I thought it was within a year. Is it 3 years?
I thought it was 3 years.
Okay.
I don't know.
I thought it was within a year.
A year? I don't know.
And then it becomes a felony.
Let's let the lawyer speak.
The next time that you get accused of it or stopped, it's a felony. But like certain companies don't want you to prosecute unless it's over a certain dollar amount.
Right.
So I don't know how that affects you guys. As far as them getting taken to jail after they've been,
it doesn't matter with our retailer. That money comes back to the retailer, which I've never seen that on a piece of paper. I'm still trying to get Ms. Show me where this money comes back because the retailer sends a letter from our lawyers.
A good side note is we should definitely sometime. It'd be interesting to interview a criminal attorney. See their point of view, where we're sending these people and how they interact with that part of the law. Fortunately, we have Mr. here who currently works in law enforcement, and he probably sees some of the
I'm sure he sees some of the people we get.
Yeah, he sees the outcome of our actions.
I hate being the guy that always says crazy things. Have you guys ever been in a deposition where you've made a stop and then you've had to go where the people's fought it and then you had to go sit and do a deposition? When you had talked about what the criminal justice lawyer, well, the prosecutor has us come in, and they ask us questions. The defense lawyer's there. They ask us questions verbatim of what happened, and then they go and they put it in. They type it in. They put it all of what we say into Word, and then that's golden. That's what we said. Now, if we say anything different in court, you purge yourself. But I have found that the prosecutors, when they're asking, they just let the defense lawyer say some shit. So when you talk about a criminal justice lawyer, it's all about the money. I don't know if you feel the same.
Oh yeah, money.
I agree. I think overall, too, something that we've kind of just to touch base on this real quick is that I think all of us could agree it's not a perfect system. We are a
flawed.
Yeah, it's definitely a flawed system, and I think that. The overview of it, it's hard to get a complete overview and how to fix that. And we are just one minute aspect of a much larger system that regardless how we feel about it, we contribute to this system.
Let me ask you a question. After you've heard everybody kind of their own opinion about what asset protection and loss prevention and security means to them, how do you feel? Do you think we're crazy mofos? I think we all have different aspects. We bring something different to the table, and how I feel about something, how he feels about something, and how when I started this, I wanted to change everybody's lives. But the longer I've done it, I don't care about them no more.
Well, you keep getting lied to. You feel sorry for them, and then you get them again.
Dude.
And then,
do you find yourself in your personal relationships having trouble trusting people, or
100%, dude?
Just because you see the worst.
We got to be in a relationship first.
That's true.
No, I kid. But but I'm serious. No, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody. I don't. People have to prove themselves to me, no matter if it's my family, and I was never this way. I was always trusting. I was a very trusting person. I've gone up and down in this business, and I've went and got trained on how to interrogate. I got Wicklander trained. And now whenever you go to interview these people, for some reason, that's the question I was going to ask you guys too, is like, why does everybody think they can just lie themselves out of a situation? Like, I didn't do it. I'll pay for this. I'll pay for it now. Mm-hmm. Why does everybody think they can talk themselves out of a situation? Why do you think that is?
I think another idea, we interview a psychologist. We have a psychology professor or something come on here. Because I think...
I'm sitting right here, mofo.
Got my PhD. Pretty hard.
We need a real one.
Pretty hard something.
No, I think it is. I think it's psychological. I found myself, even at times you don't think you're going to lie. I think it's like exactly fight or flight, sort of thing where you're going to try and lie. And I think somebody who is possibly on drugs or has had an unstable, past, they're more likely to be at that base level of psychology where they're wanting to get out of it. They're trying to lie.
Right. I've got a circle of friends, and you talk about wanting to bring in a psychologist, a criminal lawyer. I'm gonna bring some cop friends in and have their viewpoint. I want you guys to hear his side of things, their side of things, or her side of things on the law side, walking into what we've already caught or what we've already done, and their aspect of what it means to the community. If we catch them, or how that interacts into the community, if it's even crazier out there. So I got some people going to come talk to you guys. Wait for it. I'm telling you. I got some good people coming.
Oh, yeah.
Bring it on, baby. No.
Bring it on.
No, I think that's a great idea. I think we've got a ton of ideas as far as who to bring on and other stuff to talk about. It's been a good first episode. We didn't do Dumbass Criminal of the Week, but maybe we'll save that for next episode. But any closing thoughts from everybody?
Stay classy, San Francisco.
Rock.
I'm Emoney, so go ahead, Rock.
Emoney, Marshall.
No,
Big
just stay tuned for further episodes. We'll get more into it. It's about to get great.
I think that we kind of got off some things here, but overall, that we're passionate about this, and we got some crazy stories I'm going to tell, and just wait.
Crazy.
We dealing with the Rock, But I'm telling you, we have different aspects. We all bring something different. We're at different levels of this game. We have different aspects, so we'll wait and see. I got some good things.
No, I agree. I think we've got a lot of good ideas. I already said my closing thoughts.
I don't know if we heard it.
I think we got a lot of great ideas, a lot of good ideas.
We got tons of stories we could tell. We're just gotta
stay
tuned.